You're watching ABC 36 on your side. News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Erica Bivens.
And I'm Paxton Boyd. Thanks for joining us. We begin with an ABC 36 update. A 23-year-old man who drowned after attempting to swim across a lake in Wolfe County has been identified. It's our top story tonight at 6.
The Wolfe County coroner says Michael Parker attempted to swim across Wolf Lake in Campton. When about halfway across, he went under. Search and Rescue says a friend who was with him tried to help, but was not able to pull him ashore. Parker was 23 years old. As many take to the water for the unofficial start of summer this Memorial Day weekend, it's certainly a reminder to keep safety priority.
ABC 36's Justin Walker has more from Frankfort on ways you and your family can stay safe.
Kentucky Fish and Wildlife officials are encouraging safety this Memorial Day weekend.
Getting ready for a boat day.
Gary Russell and his family are loading up and hitting the waterways at Frankfort's Benson Marina Boat Dock ahead of Memorial Day weekend.
It's beautiful today, so that's why we're going today.
Kentucky officials are expecting large crowds to fill Kentucky's rivers and lakes. Sergeant Rufus Cravens with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife says more patrols are expected to make sure all boaters are obeying laws.
Pretty much all of our officers that are working the state will most likely be on water patrol somewhere throughout the state, so it is a very big weekend for us.
Cravens says there are some things boaters need to know before going out. He says it's important for boaters to have the correct boating safety requirements, including having good condition life jackets readily available for everyone on board.
Has to be readily accessible, meaning that, it doesn't need to be buried in a console somewhere with a bunch of stuff on top of it where you can't find it or can't get to it.
He says it's also important to have fire extinguishers and to make sure your boat registrations are up to date. Cravens says it's also illegal to drink on Kentucky's public waters. Officers will be watching closely and enforcing those laws as well.
A lot of people don't realize when you're out on a boat and you're drinking, the weather, such as the sun, the motion, the constant motion of the water, the heat, those sort of things, the reflection off the water, they tend to intensify the effects of alcohol.
Officials also want to remind boaters that it's Kentucky law for children under 12 years old to wear a life jacket while out on the waterways. In Frankfort, Justin Walker, ABC 36 on your side.
All right, checking in once again with TG Shuck. And as people get ready to hit the road this holiday weekend, everyone looking forward to that Memorial Day forecast. And problem area seems to be Sunday, sandwiched in between what looks to be two pleasant days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that's right. The roller coaster and, of course, getting to Monday, that's a challenge. Should be good tomorrow. Should be fine on Monday. It's just that little speed bump coming up on Sunday. It's been great out there really all week long. Another dandy on this Friday. No issues at all for travel around the area. Our Bluegrass Pace Care Skyview HD Camera Network kicks some Tunstead Cam looking at Hamburg, east side of Lexington. We're at 76. That northeast wind still cranked up a bit, 10 to 15. It will back down a bit as we head toward sunset. Mid and even a few upper 70s for afternoon highs. So pretty comfortable and fairly close to average for this time of the year. Right at it or slightly below, depending on locations. We're going to kind of go to the extreme as far as the next 3 days. It'll be up and down, but no issues at all with your evening planner here. We'll see temperatures settling down through the 60s. So if you're getting a jump start on the holiday weekend, traveling, maybe just enjoying your Friday evening, great evening to be outside. Looking at the holiday weekend as a whole, again, it is going to start off nice and end nicely. It's just in the middle, that area of low pressure along the eastern seaboard. It throws clouds and moisture back our way, and afternoon highs along with the occasional rain. Low to mid 60s may do it, and that could be generous depending on location. So not necessarily what you want to see, but not a washout, obviously, at all from start to finish. I'll time everything out for you in your 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, volunteers are still needed to help lay flags at Camp Nelson National Cemetery this weekend ahead of the annual Memorial Day service on Monday.
ABC 36's Anna Medina has more on the call for volunteers and more on the significance of the observance itself.
as cemeteries across the nation prep for their Memorial Day commemoration. Those with Camp Nelson and with the Central Kentucky Veterans Committee are encouraging volunteers to come out on Saturday and help place flags at all gravestones.
Starting tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, we're going to have what is called Flag In Day, which is our decoration day. It's our way to decorate the gravestones out here with these flags. And so we'll have between 300 and 500 volunteers here.
Now, volunteers are not only needed on Saturday, but also on Tuesday.
So we'd love to have volunteers to come tomorrow to help us place these flags. And then on Tuesday, we'd like to have help picking all the flags back up.
Nick also says it's important to also know the history of the cemetery.
Camp Nelson dates back to 1863. This was initially, and across the other way on the other hillside there, total of 400 acres that became a recruiting station for African American soldiers. It was also a supply depot, and it was called Camp Nelson Supply Depot. And they had hospitals, they had as many as 14,000 troops training here for the Union Army.
Volunteers for Saturday for the placement of the flags at Camp Nelson should show up by 8:45. Now the ceremony for Memorial Day will take place on Monday at 11 in the morning. At Camp Nelson, Anna Medina, ABC 36 on your side.
Well, meantime, the Lexington Cemetery will also host a patriotic Memorial Day observance on Monday. The public is invited to join veterans of the American Legion Man o' War Post No. 8, its Auxiliary and Honor Guard, and the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War Camp No. 5. That observance will include a presentation of colors, playing of taps, ceremonial firing, and remarks by retired U.S. Air Force Chief Master Sergeant Reno Satori. It's happening Monday morning at 11 at the cemetery located on West Main Street.
Governor Beshear has ordered flags at all state buildings to be lowered to half staff from sunrise to sunset tomorrow in honor of a Fort Campbell soldier who died in a training exercise. U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Joshua Caleb Gore of Morehead City, North Carolina, died March 29th when his Black Hawk helicopter crashed in Trigg County, Kentucky. It happened during a routine training mission. The 25-year-old was among 9 soldiers killed at Fort Campbell. Gore's family will honor his life at a private service on Saturday. Well, coming up, what we're learning about an Indiana medical board's reprimanding of a doctor over a 10-year-old's abortion case.
And a look at the return of the Horsey 100 as thousands of cyclists take over Georgetown for the next 3 days.
We are set up for a nice Friday evening all across central and eastern Kentucky with very pleasant conditions, comfortable temperatures, and the first part of the weekend, holiday weekend, looks good. It's that little bump on Sunday. I'll tell you about that in your 7-day forecast coming up.